Hello and welcome to Manga96, and today we're going to talk about Toaru Majutsu no Indeks. Today's topic will be the arm that can negate both magic and science alike. It was used by the protagonist to punch a lot of faces, and it's the home of dragons. It is known by many names, such as the one who purifies God and slays demons, or natural enemy of magic, but it's most well known under the name Imagine Breaker. But before we start, here's the spoiler warning, as we'll be spoiling a lot of things in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I would highly recommend that you go and read the light novel, as it is an enjoyable read. For everyone else, let's start with what Imagine Breaker is. Touma's ability Imagine Breaker is a mysterious power that resides in his right hand that he has since birth. It is able to negate all supernatural powers, including magic, espers, and divine powers, the last of those demonstrated by Archangel Gabriel's fear of touching him. It is also speculated by Indeks that it negates the divine protection of God and his blessing, as well as the red string of fate. Touma is the current holder of the Imagine Breaker, and the mysterious power itself has a preference to Touma being its bearer, as there is meaning in Touma having it in his right hand. Or in Fuyama's own words, the right hand is only the right hand when it's growing from his right shoulder. According to Otinos, Touma's knack for escaping dangerous situations through external factors and his inability to die is a form of misfortune as well, and she refers to it as the greatest of all of his misfortunes. Since it's not an Esper power, the people testing Esper abilities cannot detect or properly classify it. So he was classified as level 0, as he was nevertheless passed through the Parkour curriculum program. As such, Aleister Crowley considers him neither an Esper nor a magician, but rather a normal person with a unique ability. This grey area allows Touma to participate and get involved in the intrigue of the other side without causing a political backlash for technically being part of the science side. There are many unknowns regarding Touma's power, and many are the speculation of the true extent and form of his power. Terra of the left hinted that Imagine Breaker might extend itself further away from its bearer's right hand based on Terra's personal knowledge of Fuyama of the Right's Holy Right ability. Olerus stated that the Imagine Breaker is the reference point of the world, bringing the world back to normal when it's distorted. It appears that Touma might not be capable of negating all artificial supernatural abilities. Tsuchimikado is convinced that there are things that Touma's Imagine Breaker cannot destroy, including ley lines or a person's life force from which a magician's mana is produced, as evidenced by the fact that Touma hasn't killed someone through a simple handshake. This claim is corroborated by Levina, stating that although Imagine Breaker works exceedingly well when it's normalizing abnormal values, it does not show much power when dealing with something that is uniform from the start. Because of this, if a supernatural power or object is powerful or massive enough in size, it will not be completely negated right away, as shown by the example of Dragon's Breath, Incantation, Accelerator's Black Wings and others. To compensate for this glaring weakness, Touma has realized that he needs to negate but simply cast it aside, disrupting it so to speak. It is during the state where he cannot negate it completely that Touma can physically touch or grab the power, disrupting it instead of instantly destroying it. This is exemplified during Touma's fight with Accelerator in Russia, in which he pulled one of Accelerator's black wings to throw him off balance and dodge his attack. That single touch was capable of negating the vector controlling power of said wing as well. Aleister has also gained interest in Touma's power and integrated into his plan, and from his comments to Heavenly Chancellor, it's likely that he arranged the events that led to Touma being sent to Academy City by Kamijou Touma, which resulted in the birth of Kazakiri Hyoka out of fear of the Imagine Breaker. Aleister has monitored Touma's danger level to Academy City and labeled it equivalent to DEFCON 3 and found the Imagine Breaker can affect 97% of his plans. It is unknown what the true extent of Aleister's plans for Imagine Breaker are, but he has stated that his plans are similar to Fuyama's, only in a different format. To change the world by preparing a template filled with strange power drawing out the power of the right arm within the template, and adjusting the thickness of the face itself with that power. He told Fuyama of the right that if Fuyama looked at it in a different viewpoint, he should be able to understand the true nature of that power, and if he did, he would have reached his goal before Alistair could. When Fuyama severed Touma's right hand along with the Imagine Breaker in order to absorb that power into himself, an invisible thing gathered on Touma's right shoulder, which made all that Fuyama had pale in comparison. Touma unexpectedly crushed that power with an even greater power and even took back the Imagine Breaker. Though the true nature of those powers is unclear, Touma is shown to be able to communicate with this invisible thing, referring to the power as you, before refusing to use its power, crushing it and regenerating his lost right arm. After Fuyama's right arm was severed by Alistair, it was confirmed that there is more to Touma's right hand than just a right hand that can negate supernatural abilities. Touma's right hand is a vessel that can be used to house a greater power, and this is the main reason why Alistair and Fuyama seek Touma's right hand, not for Imagine Breaker. While attempting to stop the level 6 shift attempt on Misaka Mikoto, when Touma attempted to negate Mikoto's attack, but it was too powerful and his right arm was blown off. 8 dragons, including the same dragon from the fight against Aurulos, then emerged and devoured the attack, returning Mikoto to normal. His arm reappeared shortly after without any help, to the confusion of Mikoto. When Touma and Kamisato clashed with their respective right hands, Kakeru's world rejector severed Touma's right arm and sent it to another world. This caused something to emerge and badly injure Kakeru. The entity then disappeared and Touma's right arm regenerated. Kakeru believes that this is due to world rejector not erasing everything at the same time, but rather working from the outside in. As a result, it erased Imagine Breaker, but there was a slight time lag afterwards, allowing the entity to attack him. Touma, on the other hand, is less certain. He believes that the entity that could defeat World Rejector cannot be the same as the one that was easily crushed by Magic God Otinos, Magic God being easily erased by World Rejector. He thus wonders if there are multiple entities inside him. During the events surrounding the ceremony of Mo Atar, in which Touma was severely injured and had his arm severed multiple times, once by Alistair using the AAA chainsaw so healing magic could be used to save his life, and then by Coronzon's secret call sent through the ungraded AAA in a surprise attack from behind. The lock on the entity lurking behind Imagine Breaker was broken. After the initial explosion as a result of the accumulated damage on Touma's own regards, the emanating power took on Touma's identity, taking much of the overall power and Imagine Breaker with it. Until the lost power were reclaimed, the remaining power left within Touma took the form of a sky blue right arm which could unravel and surround him in the form of a dragon. During World War III, Accelerator speculated that Touma has been in so many fights that he can subconsciously anticipate the attack coming his way. Moreover, probably combined with his reflexes and the courage to keep his body and thoughts moving, this allows him to judge accurately what to do next. Minor changes in the battlefield, like when Mikoto emits her electromagnetic field that makes metal items around her resonate, those involuntary movements of hers that not even she can detect, aid Touma in his judgment in where to put his Imagine Breaker. The narrative refers to such phenomena that can be perceived by Touma as an involuntary movements, but implies that its scope differs to the term AI, and most likely uses it in a literal sense. Actions that are not voluntarily in the part of the person doing them, like biking. It is like heightened senses of perception or an instinct, causing Accelerator and Levina to call it precognition or mind's eye, though it's not about knowing something before it happens like true precognition, but knowing the little details that lead up to something happening. The original Japanese text calls this ability premotion perception or senses of foreboding. Touma is not aware of this skill himself, despite both Levina and Renza referring to it during their respective battles, though he is able to use it to its fullest potential, using the aftermath as a basis and then change tactics or to fight according to the situation. Moreover, it's noted that if he consciously tries to take note of this information, the skill of his is more likely to fail. Furthermore, Lasser noted that even if someone else were to have the same right hand like Touma, they couldn't use it half as well as him, lacking the combat skills that accompany it. It is shown by Ransom that Touma's precognition can be sealed by restricting the information that he is shown to him. In the Agate Haltanian arc, she controls the cyborg body in such a way that she completely freezes her facial expression, preventing even the slightest involuntary muscle movements, at times her blinking and breathing to specific set intervals in such a way that Touma could not read her based on those things. However, when Ransom is overloaded because of the presence of Yakumi Hisako in her, he flinches slightly because of her inability to stay still. Touma can easily read her movements and uses precognition. Touma is also a capable street fighter and quick thinker as shown in his fight with Izard, where he exploited the weakness of his Ars Magna. His fighting capability is stated many times in the novels to be the result of countless fights he was involved in with the other delinquents, some even being skill-out armed with deadly weapons, and he tries to help other people. Touma also has an incredible amount of stamina, as displayed when he witnessed multiple shocks from Mikoto and was still able to fight and bear accelerator afterwards. He possesses a high threshold of pain as demonstrated in his battle with Aurelius, where his entire arm was cut off and he was still able to think straight enough to win, although Stahl claimed that he just gotten high of the pain. He is also very fast and has great reflexes to allow him to react to attacks. Even while intoxicated, he could easily avoid Mikoto's lightning attack while walking away from her after World War III. In spite of the example above, Touma still only sees his fighting capability as capable of winning 1-on-1, maybe possibly of winning 2-on-1 and run away when it's 3-on-1. During British Halloween, Touma displayed the ability to sneak around and hide from others very carefully. During World War III, Fuyama expressed amazement at how well Touma has gotten at doing it while he was trying to fight and locate him. He has also displayed an aptitude for fighting cleverly against more conventional armed foes. When he had to confront a gun-wielding terrorist in the cargo hold of a passenger plane, he first poured heated coffee and the tea into a ventilation shaft. This tricked the terrorist into firing on the shaft and dousing himself in boiling liquid, rendering his gun useless and at the same time giving Touma the opportunity to directly confront and defeat him. By new testimony, Touma has become quite capable of analyzing magic himself without the need for magicians. This is exemplified in his fight with Freya, where he discards what her magic is, based on without a single correction from Indeks. During the manhunt for him and Otinos, Touma further displays how far his analyzing skill and cleverness have come. By drawing on knowledge from his past experience and the fighting tactics of his opponents, he could quickly find his opponent's weak points and use them to win or force a draw. With this, I covered everything that I wanted to cover on Touma's ability. And that will be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. And until next time, take care.